What's going on, everybody? It's your man KLH from the mind of KLH.com. I am back in your computer screen here to do my thing, and this is KLH Speaks. These are going to be videos on the website that will be short and casual, not a lot of high production values and all of that stuff. And it's just going to be me having what I hope will be a great dialogue with you. I'm hoping that all you folks will stop and take the time to place your comments below this video screen and express yourselves openly, honestly. I really like honest dialogue, and I look forward to some awesome conversations. So in this episode, I am going to get into some of my takeaways from the President's State of the Union address. I think it was a good speech. The president usually does a great job in his speeches, and this one was no exception. But for me, all the hype is all well and good. But what we really need to do as citizens is to make sure that we hold our elected officials responsible for the promises that they make us. They have a lot of stuff to say when it's campaign time, when they're making their big flashy speeches and whatnot, and then too often they forget about us. We have to remember that the power is ours, and that if we force the issue with our elected officials, that's the only way. I know I sound a little bit crazy right now, getting the tongue working real good. That it's the only way that we're going to get the kind of government and the kind of services and what we deserve as citizens of the United States. So I'm going to touch on a few points during the speech and just say what I think about them. One of the things that the president talked about is his request for an authorization from the Congress to use force, which essentially means he's looking for the Congress to give a declaration of war against ISIS. And we all know that ISIS is a horrible group of people, and they're doing some despicable, horrible things over there in the Middle East, killing, beheading people. It's just a really bad situation. There is no question that these people deserve to be brought to justice. They frankly deserve to be killed in the same way that they are doing to innocent people. My question with the whole thing on this war of terror is how is it that killing terrorists is going to end terrorism? To my mind, every time, and reality has shown that every time we kill a terrorist, that more terrorists are inspired. So killing them alone is not the thing. That's not the solution. What I think our leaders need to start looking to is how do we change the minds of potential terrorists? How do we take away the inspiration of these potential terrorists? How do we make them see that peace is a far better solution to what they want than violence and bloodshed? It's a horrible situation over there, and I hope that a lot more attention will be paid to listening to what they really want. Of course, there's a lot of them that want to spread this radical Islamist philosophy and these Sharia laws and whatnot around the world. Some of them, I'm sure, do hate the American way of life, but some of them are inspired because of the innocent people that have been killed by our drone strikes, the innocent people that have been killed by our wars and our imposing our will on their countries. We need to really look at ourselves, and we really need to look past war as far as as a solution to end terrorism. So I think we still got a lot of work to do, and I hope folks that are elected will do that. And I hope you folks will start seeing that we can't just keep on sending our men and women over there for a war that really can't be won by bullets. At some point, we're going to need to talk and look at how we can influence people in ways other than more violence. Another thing that the president talked about was Obamacare, and that it got passed, and how now a lot of Americans have health care that didn't, and that's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing that Obamacare got passed. But what isn't talked about by the proponents of Obamacare is the cost. Republicans have been saying time and time again that Obamacare is going to break this country and that it can't be sustained. And if you look beneath the shiny veneer of Obamacare, it is true that there is a financial nuclear bomb that will explode in America if we don't find a way to actually make the Affordable Care Act affordable, that it brings reasonably priced, affordable health care insurance to Americans. What we have now is not that, and I'm hoping that the president and Congress will, in a real way, start looking towards how we can improve upon this law and make it something that is a benefit to this country and not something that is going to destroy this country financially, because that's what this thing is going to do if it is not changed drastically. Another thing that the president, I'm jumping a little quick here. Another thing that the president talked about was, I know I got the hands going too. It's been a little while since I've been on camera. He talked about free community college for Americans. Excuse me. This is a phenomenal idea. But he talks about paying it by raising taxes on the wealthy. If you ask me, I'm not wealthy yet. But I think it's wrong to penalize people for being successful. And that's what a bigger tax on the wealthy does. I think that that ingenuity and endurance and imagination and hard work should be rewarded and not punished. And I think that's what a higher tax on the wealthy does. I think this proportional tax, I think that this tax that is higher on higher earners and lower on lower earners is nonsense. Everybody should pay the same rate. But that's going to be a hard fight, but that's what I think. However, the community college for free for 2 years is an awesome idea. They have to maintain their grade average above a certain point. They have to finish, and this is a great way to introduce skilled people into the workplace. It's really, really important that this happens, because the industrial age, there it is. Manufacturing is almost gone in America. There's some, but most manufacturing has left this country and gone to cheaper places like China and whatnot. So we have to find a way to introduce skilled workers into the workplace. Free community college is an awesome idea. We have to find a better way to pay for it. I was also noting that it is really interesting how many Republicans stand up for these crazy things during the speech. They won't stand up for certain things. They stand up for other things. And really it's like a circus atmosphere there, that they're cheering for this and then they're booing for that. And speaking of cheering, it was really, I thought, a funny highlight when the Republicans cheered when the president said that he wasn't going to be campaigning anymore, but he came back and said he knows because he won both of them, talking about his 2 elections, and he punched right back. And I thought that was interesting. Obama's got some skills punching back. That was an interesting point. So next, I wanted to touch on how on the Republican response to the president's speech. They had an attractive woman, and not that that matters really, but she was a she was a nice looking lady. She had perfect teeth. It stuck out in my mind how perfect her teeth were. However, it also stuck out in my mind like her steely gaze into the camera, and it almost seemed like animatronics, like she was like a robot. And it was just interesting, not particularly important, but interesting. And some of the points she talked about, her name was Joni Ernst. She's a new senator somewhere. She talked about the Keystone Pipeline, which a lot of Republicans like to talk about. They want to say it's going to lead to all these jobs and whatnot. And the truth of the matter is the pipeline will only create around 3,000 to 4,000 jobs. Now, while that would be important to those 3,000 to 4,000 people, it's not going to change the face of the American economy. It really is not. And there will be some indirect jobs from those 3,000 created because they'll go into their communities and spend money. But it's not going to change America. However, I wish the president would just go ahead and approve it so that we could get this off the table and get to some other things. And then she talked about what another hot button for Republicans is repealing Obamacare. And I think this is not an option. People need to have affordable health care. And while there are problems with Obamacare, the fact of the matter is a lot more that everybody, I know I sound crazy, I said it would be casual. The fact of the matter is that a lot of people are now with health insurance that didn't have it before. People can't be refused because of pre-existing conditions. There's no limits to what health insurance companies will pay out. Some awesome things. So we can't just take away Obamacare. We can't just take away the health insurance from these people. And what the Republicans should do is drop this talk about repealing. They need to talk about realistic ways to improve it so that America has affordable health care insurance so that health catastrophes don't wipe them out financially. So that's my take on the State of the Union address. I hope you folks will chime in. Please place your comments below this video screen right here on the site. I'd love to hear from you folks and get a good conversation going on. So I'll catch you next time on KLH Speaks. Peace.